Did you know that the hottest place in the whole world is in Africa? In the heart of East Africa, at the borders of Ethiopia, Eritrea, and Djibouti, lies the Afar Triangle. This is one of the most geologically dynamic places on Earth. It is no ordinary place. The Afar Triangle is so volatile, geologists predict that one day, in the not-so-distant future, it will split Africa into two separate continents. Can you believe that? The Afar Triangle, one of the harshest environments on the planet, is a geological crucible, a cradle of humanity, and a testament to human resilience. It is also one of the most fascinating places in Africa, and in this video, we shall explore all you need to know about it. The tectonic drama, the hottest place on Earth, the salty lakes, the ancient human history, and the enduring traditions of the people who call the Afar Triangle home. Journey with us into the most interesting place in Africa.
Forget Death Valley. This is the hottest inhabited place on Earth. How? 1. It is a giant bowl sunk 100 meters below sea level. Heat gets trapped. 2. The equator sun beats down relentlessly. 3. Volcanic vents pump heat from below. 4. Rain? Almost never. Forget it. The result? Temperatures that regularly roast above 55 degrees Celsius. It's a landscape so alien, scientists use it to train for Mars. Just existing here is a battle. That is why the Danakil Depression is often described using terms such as the most inhospitable environments on the planet. As the movements between the Arabian, Nubian and Somali plates created newer and newer formations along the East African Rift Valley, its most dramatic point became the Danakil Depression. This place gets so hot, it may just be the closest thing to a hellish planet. The Danakil Depression is a vast, bowl-like sunken plain that sits more than 100 meters below sea level. Because of its great depth and curved shape, the Danakil Depression traps heat like a microwave, allowing temperatures to build up to astonishing levels. As if that was not enough, the depression sits in a desert region near the equator. Here, the sun's rays strike directly and intensely year-round, mercilessly baking the land. With scarce rainfall, often less than 200 millimeters a year, and usually nothing for years, there's no water to cool things down through evaporation. On top of this, the area is alive with volcanic activity, part of the East African Rift, where tectonic plates pull apart, releasing geothermal heat from underground magma that warms the surface even more. It is as if the devil himself is busy cooking in this place, 24/7, 365 days a year. One would think that the Danakil's depression proximity to the Red Sea, less than 70 kilometers away, would help cool down matters. Not so much. The breezes from the sea are hot and humid, keeping the bare, rocky ground hot all year round. All these factors make the Danakil a scorching, otherworldly furnace that is by far the hottest place on Earth. But how did this hellish place come to be? Imagine Africa is a giant eggshell, and it's cracking right down the middle. Each piece of that shell is called a tectonic plate. Some tectonic plates carry continents, while others hold oceans. Deep beneath our feet, massive tectonic plates floating on top of extremely hot, molten rocks are in a slow-motion tug-of-war. The Afar Triangle sits at the bullseye, where three of these plates, the Arabian, Nubian, and Somali, are ripping away from each other. We're talking movements so slow you wouldn't feel it, but over millions of years, these tiny movements, year after year over millions of years, reshape the landscape. They trigger earthquakes and tsunamis, split continents, push up mountains, and dig the deep trenches we see today. This relentless pulling has carved out a gigantic depression bigger than many countries. setting the stage for the extreme world we see today. The center of the tug-of-war between the Arabian, Nubian, and Somali plates is known to geologists as the Afar Triangle. The Afar Triangle is a massive bowl-like depression stretching across the borders of Ethiopia, Eritrea, and Djibouti. This geological battleground spans 150,000 square kilometers. That's almost the entire size of Tunisia. Imagine taking this North African nation, stripping away its cities and coasts, and replacing it with a volcanic wasteland where the ground oozes acid and temperatures threaten to evaporate all your blood. In other words, imagine a desolate land so vast, walking across it would mean crossing a football field every few seconds, for 11 straight days, under a sun striking down with a heat of 55 degrees Celsius or 131 degrees Fahrenheit. This is the Afar Triangle, where continents split, humanity was born, and survival is a feat beyond measure. The Afar Triangle is the most alien-looking place on Earth. It is the complete opposite of the Bermuda Triangle. Instead of endless water, the Afar Triangle mainly comprises extensive drylands that look something out of Earth. It is the closest thing to being on Mars without boarding Elon Musk's spaceships. Everything about the Afar Triangle is on the extreme, a place of many wonders. These include 1. The Awash Valley, home of the earliest humans. 2. Lake Assal, the deepest place in Africa. And of course, the Danakil Depression, the hottest place in the whole wide world. But this hellscape holds surreal beauty, forged by fire and salt. Within the Danakil Depression, volcanic chaos creates surreal art. Acidic hot springs paint the earth in neon yellows, toxic greens, and bloody reds. The air reeks of sulfur. And beneath your feet, a treasure born from an ancient ocean, salt. Millions of years ago, the Red Sea flooded this basin, but the never-ending tug-of-war between the tectonic plates sunk the ground so deep, seawaters could no longer reach the bottom. As the sea retreated, it left behind vast amounts of seawater trapped in the depression. The intense heat of the region and low amounts of rainfall caused the trapped seawater to dry up over time, concentrating the salts it contained. The Red Sea, consequently, left behind mountains of salt, now mined by hand in unimaginable heat. This glittering, deadly expanse is Earth at its most raw and beautiful. It is a visually stunning kaleidoscope of colors. The vibrant colors of the salt pans, white from sodium chloride, yellow from sulfur, green from potassium, and red from magnesium, are further shaped by the region's volcanic activity, which pushes minerals to the surface through hot springs and geysers. The air smells of rotten eggs, telltale signs of hydrogen sulfide and other burning minerals, is a constant reminder of the volcanic activity just beneath the surface. Hydrothermal fields like Dalol explode with neon yellows from sulfur deposits. Emerald green acidic pools bubble with toxic gases, and rust-red iron oxide streaks the earth like dried blood. Here, acidic hot springs, some with a pH close to 0, eat away at the rock, creating ever-changing pools and terraces. The ground is so unstable that walking on it feels dangerous. One wrong step could plunge you into scalding, corrosive water. Ironically, this brutal furnace is where we humans began to live. Hidden beneath the scorched earth of the Afar Triangle lies an incredible secret: millions of years of human history. Why here? The dry climate and constant geological churning perfectly buried, preserved, and then showcased ancient fossils. Meet Lucy, a 3.2 million-year-old ancestor found right here. The Middle Awash area of Ethiopia, within the triangle, has been described as the most persistently occupied place on Earth. For nearly 6 million years, humans have lived, died, and been buried here. Besides Lucy, there have been many other important findings of early humans in the region, including Herto Man and Homo erectus. This was once a lush land where early humans lived alongside hippos, wild hyenas, and giant rodents. The Afar Triangle isn't just splitting continents, it's revealing the deepest chapters, long hidden secrets of the human story. These early humans made simple tools and were very fond of eating hippos, while also evading constant attacks by equally hungry hyenas. They lived in tight family groups that walked the scorched earth, dipped in the salty pools, and stared at the millions of stars in the beautiful night sky of the Afar Triangle. Over millennia, volcanic eruptions, sediment deposition, and the shifting landscape have buried bones, only to later expose them through erosion, a key characteristic of the Afar Triangle. For millions of years, the cycle of life and death went on in the middle awash, even as the terrain and climate changed. The remains of these early humans and other animals hid beneath the surface for millennia, only for scientists uncover them to serve as a portal into a long-gone past. Yet, not everything is from the past. The Afar Triangle, despite its harsh terrain, is a place people still call home. So, who can actually live in this oven? Who is it that lives in this place, where survival feels like a dare? Meet the Afar people. For centuries, the nomadic Afar people have not just survived here, they've thrived. Named after them, this triangle tests human limits. They navigate blistering sands, find hidden water, and live by a strict code. Information is life or death. Their ritual greeting, Dagu, involves sharing vital news, and lying is unforgivable. Their lifeline? The ancient salt trade, carved from the pans and carried by camel caravans across the desert, a tradition as enduring as the land itself. It is from this ethnicity's name that the Afar Triangle gets its name. To survive here, you must be quite tough. Like the Galapagos iguana, which thrives next to steaming volcanoes, the Afar people have found ways of living in such an extreme environment as the Afar Triangle. The Afar people are nomadic pastoralists who have inhabited this region for centuries. They are as resilient as the land itself. Their lives are shaped by the rhythms of the desert, the search for water, the movement of camel herds, and the backbreaking labor of salt mining. The Afar traverse the vast and harsh landscape with their livestock, mainly goats and livestock, establishing, dismantling, and then re-establishing new settlements in a nomadic ritual that has endured for centuries. The Afar are known for their fierce independence and rich cultural traditions. With a society organized around clans where loyalties run deep, their survival depends on prudent use of resources and an intimate knowledge of the desert's hidden water sources and the scattered grazing lands. The Afar are therefore known to be fiercely protective of their territory. Likewise, the Afar know the value of having accurate information, which can mean the difference between life and death while navigating their barren terrain. Among the Afari, it is therefore an unforgivable sin to disseminate fabricated or false information. When two or more Afari people meet, they exchange information in a traditional greeting ritual known as Dagu. Dagu includes information about marriages, death, and travels of the people in the society. Dagu captures all important details that the recipient may need to make key decisions. Anyone who passes information in Dagu has to be able to verify the information and has to be able to answer questions in times of cross-checking in case such a thing is needed. If a person is proven to disseminate false information through Dagu, punishment is severe. So every member of the Afar society abides by the rule to ensure that information which comes through Dagu is true and reliable for navigating life through their harsh homelands. One of those key pieces of information often shared revolved around movements along the lucrative salt trade routes that stretch as far as Lake Assal, the lowest place in Africa. Need a float? Head to the lowest point in Africa. At the western edge of the Afar Triangle, within the borders of Djibouti, lies Lake Assal, a hypersaline lake that plunges 155 meters below sea level. It is the lowest point in Africa and the third lowest on Earth. No rivers flow out of it, and under the relentless Afar sun, the lake's water evaporates at an astonishing rate. This leaves behind a crust of salt up to 60 meters thick. These are salt levels nearly 10 times that of the ocean. The place is so salty, no fishes can survive in it. The salt also makes the waters of Lake Assal very dense, so if you dive into it, instead of sinking, you will simply float like a cork. Tourists love visiting the lake and absorbing its unique beauty. Surrounding the lake are vast salt pans, remnants of other lakes once present before the Red Sea washed away. These salt pans, which can be meters thick and contain millions tons of salt, are continually replenished by mineral-rich geothermal springs fed by underground volcanic unrest. These salt pans have been an unending source of wealth for the people of the Afar Triangle. For the Afar people, these salt pans have been a lifeline, harvested for centuries and carried to spice food in faraway lands on camelback. This slat trade was once part of a vast network linking the Red Sea to the Ethiopian highlands, with wealthy traders exchanging salt for coffee, sorghum, perfume, and other precious commodities. Workers hack at crystalline crusts with axes, breaking them into blocks, and then load them onto camels destined for distant markets. Even today, though modern trucks have replaced some of the caravans, the sight of camels plodding across the salt flats remains a testament to human endurance in one of Earth's harshest environments. Every day the springs deposit more salts as their waters evaporate, creating a cycle that keeps the pans growing and business thriving, in a process that has lasted for hundreds of years and is likely to go on for hundreds more. The geological unrest and chaos in the Afar Triangle is far from over. Remember those plates pulling apart? They aren't stopping. Africa's fate is being written now. The Afar Triangle is Earth's live laboratory. Right now, new fissures rip open, volcanoes simmer, and the land sinks. Geologists predict the inevitable. Over millions of years, this rift will widen, the land will drop further, and the Red Sea will rush in, splitting Africa in two and birthing a brand new ocean. What we see today is just a snapshot in this epic, slow-motion divorce. The future is even more dramatic than you can imagine. The Afar Triangle is not a static place. It is a landscape in constant transformation. The tectonic forces that created it continue to reshape it, with new fissures opening, volcanoes awakening, and the land sinking further. The Earth's crust is tearing itself apart at the Afar Triangle. Volcanoes simmer just below the surface, and vast salt flats shimmer like mirages in the heat. It is a place where the very ground beneath your feet is alive with movement. In geological terms, the birth of a new ocean here is inevitable, though it will take millions of years. Is slowly splitting the African continent in two. Over millions of years into the future, this rift will widen, the land will sink, and the Red Sea will flood the basin, creating a new ocean. I wonder what this new ocean will be called, and the millions of stories that will be told about it, just as much as the plenty that have been told about the Afar Triangle. In the Afar Triangle, the past, present, and future collide. It is a place where continents are born, where humanity took its first steps, and where people still endure against all odds. To stand in the Danakil Depression, to float in Lake Assal, or to walk the fossil-rich fields of the Middle Awash is to witness the story of our continent and our human species unfolding in real time. The Afar Triangle is a land of impossible extremes. The crucible where continents collide, the furnace that forged humanity's first steps, the proving ground for incredible resilience. It's a place where the past is unearthed, the present is a daily struggle against the elements, and the future is literally being carved into the earth. It challenges everything we know about life, adaptation, and the raw, untamed power of our planet. It is a place where the echoes of our deepest past still resonate, and where Africa is quite literally breaking apart. But for now, the region remains a place of scientific wonder, profound historical significance, and extreme beauty.
What blew your mind the most about the Afar Triangle? The splitting continent, the insane heat, or was it Lucy and the ancient humans? Let us know down below. If you crave more journeys to the most fascinating places in Africa, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next adventure on Timbuktu Tales. Thanks for exploring the Afar Triangle with us. Stay curious.